So tonight, for our Bible story, we are going to read, um, What Did You Say? What did you say? And this happens in Genesis 11. So not long after, because the story of Noah and the flood was in Genesis chapters 6 through 9. And then in Genesis 11, we're learning this story. What did you say? So if you have the book, that's page 22 if you're following along. If not, I always had the pictures. I almost always remember. And then for our song tonight, we had a request for when we serve the Yancy song that we do sometimes when we worship. When we say, God is with us when we love, 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 love. He is with us when we hug, hug. I'm hugging you. We're going to do that song later. That'll be a fun one. So today, what did you say? This is in Genesis chapter 11. So, remember when the flood covered the earth and Noah obeyed God and built the big boat, and God saved Noah and his family, and then put the rainbow in the sky, making a promise that he'd never destroy the earth again with a flood. Hi, McKaylin. Hi, Savannah. And he put a rainbow in the sky, and God always keeps his promises, doesn't he? So we're going to find out what happened. And again, just 2 chapters later, but more than a couple years here. Quite a bit of time, but just 2 chapters later in Genesis. All right. Genesis 11, what did you say? All of the people on earth spoke the same language. Every person could understand every other person, which was a fine thing, except that people mostly talked about how great they were. They didn't think they needed God at all. Have you guys ever seen that? Or maybe, I can do that sometimes, like start thinking I'm pretty great. Like, oh, I'm really good at these games, or, whatever. I'm a really good singer, I'm really good at school, and it's good to be confident and know what gifts God has given you. But we always have to remember that God gives us those gifts, right? But the people were starting to talk about how great they were and didn't think they needed God at all. And the people didn't care that God had said, start new homes all over the earth. In fact, they decided they would not spread out over all the earth. Come on, everyone, they said to one another. Let's build a great city for ourselves, right here, all together. And let's build a tower in the city, a tower so tall that it goes higher than the clouds. We can do it because we're amazing. And we'll all stay together right where we are. That sounds, we have learned in these stories that it's always a good idea to obey God, right? God asks us to do something, we need to do it. And if we disobey, we have consequences, and God, he figures out a way to get his stuff done anyway. So we'll see so God wanted them to spread out over all the earth, but they wouldn't do it. So we'll see what God does. So the people I'll show you a picture. They wanted to build a great big tower. Doesn't it look high? It's all the way up into the clouds. He said, let's build a tower in the city, a tower so tall it goes higher than the clouds. We can do it because we're amazing. So the people got busy. They made bricks and started building. They started building the city and a very tall tower. Now, what do you think God said about that? The people are very proud of themselves, God said. They all speak the same language, and they all want to stay in one place instead of spreading out over the earth as I told them to do. They think they don't need me. But God had a plan. Here's what we'll do, God said. We will go down and confuse their language. They won't be able to understand one another anymore. Then they will have to leave their city and spread out over all the earth. So God mixed up the people's language. Everyone couldn't understand everyone else anymore. Instead, they kept asking each other, "What? What? What did you say?" But that didn't help. Have you ever, when a baby's learning to talk and they just babble, 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 babble all day, and they know exactly what they're saying, but you have no idea what they're saying? That's probably how they felt, They were trying to talk to each other, but they didn't understand each other at all. That can be stressful, or very confusing. And it's hard to work together if you don't speak the same language, right? Because you can't tell each other what needs to happen, or you can't share your ideas. So them working on that big, tall building, it all came to a stop because they couldn't understand each other. So God mixed up the people's language. Everyone couldn't understand everyone else anymore. Because they couldn't understand each other anymore, the people stopped building the city. They called the city Babel, which means confused. They left the city and began to live all over the earth, just as God had told them to do. So here you see these guys, they're trying to talk to each other, but they're all confused. That guy has his hands up like, "What are you talking about? I don't understand." So they had to stop. So God had a plan and spread the people out all over the earth, and they all spoke different languages, and we still speak different languages on the earth today, don't we? We do, yeah. So we want to remember to obey God and remember that when we do something good, we praise God because He gave us that gift or talent. He helps us, all right? I'm really proud of you guys when you use your gifts, if you're really smart, when you work hard at school, when you use your gift of music or singing for Jesus. That makes me really proud. But we always remember that God gave us those gifts, right? We don't want to take credit for that like those people did, because it didn't work out very well, did it? It doesn't work out well for us either, I promise. So tonight for our prayer, we're going to pray that God will help us do what He says. Let's do that. Dear God, I want to do what You say. Thank You for teaching me and helping me obey. Good night, God. Amen. All right. That's a really interesting story, isn't it? Because sometimes I don't think we always think about that. Like, how did this happen on our planet? How did we get different languages? How did we get spread out all over the place? But we can learn so much when we read God's Word and how He had a plan from the very beginning. So we're going to sing When We Serve, God is With Us When We Serve. So everyone stand up. If you've not sung this song, we did it, several weeks ago, so you might remember it. But if it's new to you, just sing and dance along. It's really fun. All right? And find someone next to you that you can hug, because you need to hug for this song. And I'm going to do this, because I'm going to hug you guys like that. Okay? I can serve God every day. When I pray, God, here's what I say. When life goes up, 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 our wind goes down, down, down. When life is spinning, turning all around, I can always know He is with us when we love. God is with us when we hug. God is with us when we give. He is with us when we serve, serve, serve. God is with us when we love, 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 love. He is with us when we hug, 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 hug. He is with us when we give, 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 give. He is with us when we serve, 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 serve. Good job, you guys. I can serve God every day. When I pray, God, here's what I say. If life goes up, 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 all winds it's down, down, down. When life is spinning, turning all around, I can always know He is with us when we splash. He is with us when we swim. God is with us when we jump. He is with us when we go, go, go. God is with us when we splash, 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 splash. He is with us when we swim, 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 swim. He is with us when we jump, 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 jump. He is with us when we go, 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 go. He is with us when we clap, 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 clap. He is with us when we run, 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 run. He is with us when we pray, 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 pray. He is with us when we stop, 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 stop. He is with us when we love, 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 love. He is with us when we hug, 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 hug. He is with us when we give, 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 give. He is with us when we serve, 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 serve. Good job! Awesome! Yay! Oh, you guys, thanks for joining me today. Marley, thanks for requesting that song. I hope you liked it. Did you guys all get a lot of good hugs? Yeah? We miss giving hugs, don't we? Yeah. Hi, Nyla and Nolan. Well, remember, if you are in Surge, if you are a 2nd through 5th grader, make sure your parents are checking your email so you can find out about being in a Zoom small group. And if they check their email and it's not there, let me know, because I will send you a link, okay? Because we want to see you for sure. Hey guys, I love you, and I pray that we can remember that God is the best. He's always the best, and we always want to obey Him. We want to listen and obey God. So you guys have a good night, and I'll see you back tomorrow night at 7:30. Invite your friends. See ya. Bye.